Hello everyone, welcome to Sarah's Stitchery. My name is Sarah and this is my channel where I talk all about my cross stitch journey. So today is February 16th, 2025. This is episode number 30. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending more time with me. I appreciate you very much. If you're new here, hello, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see today. And I hope you will all take a moment to like my video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and of course, leave me a comment. I love reading all of your comments and I just hearing what you thought about the video and hearing what you're stitching and all the things. So thank you for everyone who takes time to do that. So let's see, I always start with just a very brief personal update. Not much going on around here, same old different day. We did just celebrate my dog Lily's gotcha day, her first gotcha day with us on February 14th. We had adopted her last year on Valentine's Day. She is a rescue dog. I have two dogs, Daisy and Lily, and they're both rescue dogs. Got them both from shelters. Lily had come from a hoarding situation, and she was a little worse for the wear when we got her last year, but she has thrived. I took her to her 1 year vet appointment to get her shots, and not her 1 year, she's older than one, but her first 1 year checkup with us, I guess I should say, to get her shots. And the vet said she looks like she's doing great. She's very healthy. So we're very thankful for that. She and Daisy are just the cutest little sister dogs you ever saw in your life. I do post pictures of them on my Instagram. So I did post a little picture montage of Lily on her gotcha day. So if you want to see that, you can go follow me on Instagram at Stitchy Sarah Reads and see all the adorable pictures I put of Lily on there. And of course I have adorable pictures of Daisy on there as well. So yeah, other than that, not a whole lot going on. We're still in the midst of winter. It snowed here today, so I don't plan on leaving my house except for a short little trip to the grocery store. But other than that, I plan on staying in and stitching today. So speaking of stitching, let's get into the stitching. This is going to be a quick video today. I don't have a lot to show, but I do like to do my videos every 2 weeks. And so I didn't want to get behind on my updates. And so I thought, I don't have a lot to show, but I'll come on and show what I have. So I do have a finish and fully finished, but I cannot show it to you because it is a secret stitch. I'm doing a Galentine's Day swap with some of my friends, and we pulled names, and so we're all stitching a special something for someone else in our group, and we don't know who has who, and so it's just going to be a big reveal next weekend. My friends and I are going to go to Craft Gallery up in Findlay, Ohio, and we're going to do our swap there. Our friend Sarah W., who is on YouTube and Instagram as Handmade by Sarah W., she is also part of our group, but unfortunately she lives in Alabama, so she won't be with us in person, but hers is being mailed to her, and she has mailed hers out here, and so we'll be doing it with her on FaceTime. So she'll be with us, just not in her physical presence. It'll be really fun though. I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing it with my friends Allison and Karen and Lori and Emily and Michelle and of course Sarah, and it's just going to be fantastic. Making sure I did not forget anybody's names. Allison, Karen, Emily, Lori, Michelle, Sarah. Okay, I'm going to feel really bad if I forgot somebody. I'll get off the video and be like, I forgot to mention so-and-so. That would be terrible. So we're going to do our Galentine's Day swap. So I will take pictures and post it on Instagram. I'm not great with editing videos. I can do it. I don't like to. So I'll just be posting pictures of my swap piece after we do our exchange. So if you'd like to see it, check my Instagram next weekend and you'll see it there. But I'm really excited. It was a new for me finish, and I hope my friend enjoys it. All right, let's get to my whips. In fact, all three of these things are new starts since I saw you last time. So my last video, I was talking about how I was having a lot of frustration with Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. And I was saying how that one was going to be in timeout. I just kept making mistakes. And, you know, it's not the pattern. It was me. I don't know if I just wasn't paying close enough attention or whatever it was, but I was feeling very frustrated with it. And I just had to put it aside for a little while. So that one is in timeout. And also I had just recently finished my Blessing sampler by the Blue Flower. And so I was just kind of in a rut as far as stitching. Like I really wanted to stitch. So it wasn't like I'd lost my stitchy bug or anything. I really wanted to stitch and I have a lot of great whips and I was just kind of stuck. Like I didn't know what I wanted to stitch on. The things I was picking up just were not scratching that itch for me. And so, you know, I had kind of reached out to you guys and said, hey, what do you think I should do? Are there some whips here that I have that you think I should just keep plugging away on? I was also kind of wanting some new starts. And so I showed what I was wanting to do for my new starts. And I just realized I forgot to bring my iPad over here. I'll pause in a little bit. Anyway, and so I really appreciated that you guys reached out to me and told me what you thought I should do or what helped you get out of a slump. And so I'm happy to say I'm very well out of my slump. I've been really enjoying the projects I've started and I am looking forward to showing you my progress. So let's dive in. I'm going to pause the video real quick because I do need to grab my iPad to be able to show you the picture of one of these because it's a PDF. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Before I show you my new starts though, I got to show you this new bag I got from my sister. If you've been here before, you know that my mom and my sister have Etsy shops. They are bag makers. And my sister brought me her newest bag yesterday. It is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, you know, with all of the new market releases coming out and there's so many like bee patterns and beautiful spring patterns coming out, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need a market stitch to go in this. So it is just gorgeous. My sister's shop is called Pepper Pot Shop and these are in her shop now, I believe. Look at the charm. There it is. How cute is that? Little honeycomb charm to go with the bees. So pretty. And I love the gray polka dot fabric. Gorgeous. Nice job, Megan. My sister's name is Megan. Her bags are gorgeous. Hers and my mom's. My mom's shop, is called Painted Leaf Co. And their bags are just gorgeous. Very well made. And I always link their shops below, so check out the description box. So let's get into my new starts. So the first one I'm going to show you is the most recent thing I started. I started this yesterday with my friend Sarah, handmade by Sarah W. And this is a chart by Birds of a Feather. And so Birds of a Feather charts are out of print. I don't know if all of them are, but I know several of them are. And so Sherry from Colorado Cross Stitch, she has obtained the rights to remaster these designs and sell them in her shop. And so I was really excited to see when this one came out. This is called Happy Heart Sampler. And I love that it also comes with these two like smalls too. So I'm stitching the main sampler. And Sarah and I are stitching it together, and we started yesterday. And I have a very small start, but there it is. So I started in the top left corner up there with those hands. And I'm stitching using all the called for floss. It looks like it's all Weeks Dye Works with one DMC in there. So that's what I'm using. And it's stitched on straw, 36 count straw by Weeks Dye Works in the picture. I went a different direction with the color, as you can see. I am in the Roxy Floss Co. Fabric Club. It comes every other month, and I'm in the Traditional Colors Fabric Club. And so this was actually my January fabric that I got, and I just thought it was so pretty. I wanted to stitch something on it right away. It's called Cove, and to me, it looks kind of like a little bit of a toned down Cypress by Fiber on a Whim. I love Cypress by Fiber on a Whim. It just kind of looks like a lighter version of that, in my opinion. And I think the colors, let me pull my floss ring here. They're a little messy. I think the colors, well, they are very messy. I think the colors look really great on this fabric. So I think that's a good choice. I was trying out some like neutrals, some other neutrals, you know, like more like, you know, beigey colored neutrals and stuff, and it just wasn't working for me. So I think this is gonna work. So that's my little start. Sarah started in the middle with the alphabet, and we were talking about how we really like when we start a lot of things together. Sarah and I, we like to stitch a lot of the same things. And sometimes we will start in the same place and kind of work together, you know, like having like same like goals, like, okay, let's start here and we'll do these motifs or something. But for some other things that we do, we work separately. And so for this, we didn't discuss like, where are you starting in the pattern? We just kind of started, and then it was fun to see like, oh, where did you start? What did you get done? So that is our Happy Hearts sampler. And here's the bag I'm keeping it in. It is a bag from Michelle Lee Quilts, handmade by Michelle Lee Quilts. She's one of the friends that I'm doing the swap with. I love this. I believe I purchased this from her when we were at the 141 retreat. So just gonna sit my stuff over here. Usually I go ahead and put them back in the bags, but I wanted to take a picture of it while I had it out and while it was ironed. All right, so this next thing is a new start. And I got out my iPad so I could show it to you because it's only PDF. Make sure I'm not showing you the chart. Here we go. So this is from Teresa Kogut. It's part of her Patreon. It was the January 2025 ornament. It's called Folk Floral. It is just beautiful. I saw it on Instagram, and oh, it's just gorgeous. So I'm stitching this on another Roxy Floss Co. fabric from the Fabric of the Month Club called Irish Coffee. And that's where it is. So it's going to be heart shaped. So that's the bottom, and it'll come up. And so I still have to do the roof of the house, and there's like a bunch of flowers, and there's a couple of birds up there. So I still have quite a bit to go. So let me look here. I think this is all DMC, if I'm not mistaken. It's all DMC, with the exception of a Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. I did do all DMC, and I did do the one Weeks Dye Works. The Weeks Dye Works is the red in the house. It's called Cayenne. I wanted to have that variegation in there. It's coming across kind of dark in here, but probably because it's not very light outside. But that's where I'm at so far. So I started from the bottom and I'm working my way up. But I'm looking forward to fully finishing it as a heart-shaped pillow. It's going to be super cute. And I'm keeping this in a bag that I got from Isabella Sews. She's on Etsy. I love this bag. It's made from the salvages of different fabrics. And it's so cute. I love the rainbow zipper. So there's that. And then I saved the best for last. The best in my opinion. So a lot of you, as I mentioned, commented on my last video, and you had opinions about like what I should do next to help me get out of my slump. And several of you really thought I should work on this project. They were like, somebody had said, you know, you sounded the most excited when you talked about this project. So I think that's the one you should do. And I was like, you are totally right. So the chart I'm talking about is, let me get this out. The chart I'm talking about is Things Unseen by Lizzie Kate. It's this beautiful sampler. And the sentiment on it says, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. And I believe that is a quote from Helen Keller. And it's just a beautiful chart. It doesn't come with, but you can purchase the embellishment pack to go with it. All of these are sold on 1, 2, 3 stitch. Now this sampler was actually a mystery sampler, and it came in 3 parts. So you do have to purchase all 3 parts to get the entire sampler. But you can purchase all 3 of those parts from 1, 2, 3 stitch. And of course, if they have anything out of stock, just hit that notify me button and they'll notify you when it's back in stock. But that's also where I got the embellishment pack with the buttons. I had started this before. So back in 2022 is when I had originally started it. I had hosted a stitch along with Alexis from Alexis My Amazing World. And it was more of a start along because I didn't finish it. I think Alexis finished hers last year, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I started it and then I probably squirreled off to something that was more interesting to me at the time. And then when I came back to it, I didn't want to stitch on it anymore because it was on 32 count. So I used to stitch a lot on 32 count because I was afraid to try higher counts. I've stitched since I was like 9 years old. So the majority of my stitching life, I stitched on Ada up until 2021, I believe. That was when I finally got brave enough to stitch on linen. I was like, I will never be able to stitch on linen. And, you know, you don't know unless you try, right? And so I started off, you know, with like 28 counts and 32 counts. And then I eventually started stitching on higher counts. And so for the last several years, my favorite count has been 40 count because I love stitching with 1 strand. Now, that said, I do have people message me sometimes like, I'm going to try 40 since that's what you're stitching on. You can stitch things on any fabric you want to stitch it on. Stitch on whatever makes you happy. Stitch on whatever's comfortable for you. You don't want to stitch on something that's not going to be comfortable. So, you know, if a fabric is too small, you know, if the count is too small and it's hard to see, that's not going to be enjoyable. For me, stitching with 2 strands is not enjoyable. I love the coverage of 1 strand on a 40 count. And the fact that my original Things Unseen had been started on 32 count, I just didn't want to get back to it. I had no desire to stitch it with 2 strands. And so that's what I kept coming up against, like, oh, like I have this, I want to work on it, but I don't want to stitch on 32 count. And finally I gave myself permission to be like, you know what, I'm starting it over. And so when I was at Stitch Away with my friends, I had brought it with me because I was still making the decision, am I going to stitch this? Because my friend Allison had brought hers with her and she was stitching on it. So I was trying to decide, am I going to stitch this? Am I going to finish it on the 32 or am I just restarting it? And so my friends helped me decide, like, just restart it. You're going to be much happier. I did have a piece of the called for Wren, but in 40 count. And so I gave my 32 count start to my friend Emily. And so she's going to stitch it. So at least it's not going to waste. It is going to be still stitched and loved, but I started over and I'm much happier. Now that I've talked about it on and on and on, how about I show it to you? And there is my restart. I feel like everything is looking so much darker in the camera today than it really is. But here's my restart. I am stitching on 40 count Wren by Picture This Plus. And I am using all of the called for colors. And I believe they're all, it looks to me like they're all Weeks Dye Works. So there are the colors. I'm using all the called for. They're beautiful. I am just so much happier stitching this on a count that makes me happy. So there we are. That's where I'm at now. It has been a little bit slow going. My friends and I have been talking about this, how this border, even though it doesn't look very, you know, it's not intricate at all. I mean, it's just like a little striped border. It's just a little time consuming. So, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm excited to finally get down here to some of the more exciting stuff. Let me grab the pattern. So now that I have most of the words up top done, you can see this is this right here. Now I get to come down here and work on this beautiful flower basket and this house. There's 2 tiny little sheep there. Oh my goodness. So I'm really excited to be getting close to doing some of the fun stuff. My friend Allison has been making really great progress on this. I'm loving seeing hers. And I'm actually stitching this with quite a few friends. So I think it was Allison that kind of inspired me to get mine back out. And then like, it's just kind of has set off a chain reaction. So Allison is stitching it. She's AllieCat13 on Instagram. Our friend Karen, Benton Station Crafter, has started it. Of course, I gave mine to Emily. She is Short and Stitchy on Instagram. She's stitching with us. Our friend Lori has started it. She's the Grateful Needle. I was just trying to think if my friend Michelle was stitching it. I don't think she is. But my friend Jody from Simply Stitching Ocala is stitching this. And Holly Jones, Mrs. Jones Stitches, she's also stitching it. I'm really trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. If I missed anybody, I truly apologize. Sometimes it's hard to think when you're on these videos. And then when I'm done filming, I'm like, oh, you forgot that. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I should have wrote it down, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But it's just really fun to be stitching this with friends and, you know, chatting as we go about like colors and, you know, like the buttons go in there. And, you know, I had been worried about my buttons fitting on a 40 count. I thought maybe the buttons would be too big, but I actually think it's going to work. There are some little flowers that are in here that are done with straight stitches. I'm trying to decide if I want to do mine as straight stitches or if I just want to do X's or, you know, so having people to bounce ideas off of or seeing other people's pictures of their progress has really been inspiring to me. So, so yeah, I think I'm out of my rut. Now my problem is I don't have enough time to stitch all the things I want to stitch because I really just want to sit and stitch all day long. But fortunately, I'm off school tomorrow for President's Day, so it's going to be a stitchy day for me tomorrow for sure. Especially when there's so much snow outside. It's just the perfect time to sit inside and stitch. So hopefully by the next time you see this, there will be a lot more progress. And that's it. I'm looking around, making sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think I did. That's what I've been working on. So, you know, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for all of the encouragement. It really meant a lot to me too, that a lot of you were like, thank you for sharing that you were struggling. They're like, you know, it was nice to hear I'm not alone. You know, I had thought to myself, like, oh, I shouldn't tell everybody that I'm struggling with this pattern. Like, nobody wants to hear me complain, right? Like, you know, we all criticize ourselves, right? You have that inner critic, like nobody wants to hear you whine about that. And so, but I shared it. I'm like, I'm going to put it out there and be honest. Like, this is giving me a hard time and I'm frustrated and this is how I'm feeling. And a lot of you really appreciated that. So thank you for sharing that with me and making me feel like, yeah, it's okay to share those things. And we all experience it. It's human, right? We all make mistakes. We all mess things up and we get frustrated and we just want to put it down. I'm trying to think who I was watching. I was watching somebody and they were so frustrated with something they were stitching because they were making a lot of mistakes too. And I was like, yep, I feel that. So yeah, so thank you all for sharing that and for encouraging me and, for all of your suggestions. It meant a lot to me. I read all of the comments. I appreciate all of your comments. And again, I just appreciate the time that you guys spend, hanging out with me and seeing what I'm up to. So again, sorry for the kind of short video today, but I figured a short video was better than no video. Actually, my friend Sarah is the one who encouraged me to just get on here and show what you have, right? It's okay if you don't have a lot of things. So thank you, Sarah, for encouraging me. And yeah, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.